Hello and welcome to the United Forum. This is your latest Manchester United news, transfer news updates, and your opportunity to voice your opinion out for the very first time in Sri Lanka. We're live once again at 10 p.m. on Sunday for the match reaction and player ratings. Manchester United winning 3-2 against Tottenham Hotspur last night, and man, what a game that was, and what a way to start your weekend off. You talk about the problems at Manchester United, people calling Cristiano Ronaldo the problem at Manchester United. I really think where these critics are, because last night I really couldn't hear anyone speak. Hat trick by Cristiano Ronaldo, and let's be honest, had it not been for Cristiano Ronaldo, Manchester United would not have got over the line. And last night's hat trick had it all, didn't it? A worldie of a goal, a tap in, and then one classy header towards the end of the game. And what a way to finish the game, 3-2. And yes, let's not forget also a lot of credit to Harry Maguire for his sublime finish in front of our goal. Talk about the lack of strikers next season, the scare that we might not have strikers next season. Well, leave that aside, because we've got Harry El Capitano Maguire, who is one hell of a finisher. Cristiano Ronaldo's side, if Ronaldo is the problem, I must say this, that it is Harry Maguire who is definitely the solution. A lot of credit to him as well. Super finish last night by Harry Maguire. And apart from that, good performance by Manchester United overall. I'm not quite satisfied with that performance. It was an okay performance, I would rate it. I really don't think it's not good enough to call it a Manchester United performance, because there were parts of the game where Tottenham Hotspur were the better team, and I really thought towards the first 20 minutes of last night's game, let's just say Spurs passing was much better comparing to Manchester United. I thought Rodrigo Benteke was creating problems. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg was really controlling that game as well. And on and off, Sergio Reguilon seemed to be a threat on and off as well. And Son Heung-min was not up to the mark, you could say. But definitely towards the first 20 minutes, we did see that Tottenham Hotspur controlling the game, and gradually, we did come into the game, and yes, things started going our way. And I think that first goal, the fact that Manchester United scored the first goal, really helped to bring momentum towards Manchester United, because we did see Tottenham Hotspur holding on a back line, holding and defending quite deep, waiting for us, that is Manchester United, to attack and then attack us on the counter. And scoring that first goal, in fact, made Spurs attack even more, since they had to get that goal for them as well, and they couldn't sit back and defend. And I thought that first goal was really crucial, and that is what actually turned the game, and all thanks to Cristiano Ronaldo, an important hat-trick, 807 goals to his name. And man, talk about the GOAT, he is the greatest of all time, the greatest there ever will be. Talk about problems at Manchester United, in my opinion, he is very least of the problems, and I really don't understand why people actually even call him the problem. And one thing, just before I start off with the player ratings, let your apologies be as loud as your criticization. Well, that is one thing I want to tell you. Let's move on to the player ratings straight off, to start off last night's starting 11 to start with. Now, we did have doubts if David Dahi will start in goal. He did start. David Dahi started in goal, Diogo Dalot at right back, Harry Maguire and Rafael Varane, the two centre-back pairings. Alex Telles, Nemanja Matic holding that midfield, who I thought did play a crucial role as well. I wish he was about 10 years younger, at least a 5. We did see Fred play box-to-box. Paul Pogba as the number 10, Bruno Fernandes unfortunately out due to COVID is what I've heard. Rashford on the right, Ronaldo up front, and Jadon Sancho on the left. And yes, our substitutes, Edinson Cavani, Anthony Elanga, and Victor Lindelof. And to start off with the player ratings, we start off as usual with David Dahi, the man himself. I thought David Dahi had a decent game last night, quite quiet, you could say. Nothing really much to do. Was in trouble quite a lot as well, except a few moments in the game where Son Heung-min did have a few shots on goal as well. And apart from that, the own goal, you really can't do anything much about it. Harry Maguire's fault, totally bad decision making. The other goal Tottenham scored, I really can't remember who scored the goal for Tottenham. Yeah, it was the penalty. I thought that was not a penalty. Yes, it was, but in my opinion, if that was given a penalty, definitely Eric Dyer's handball should have been given a penalty as well. Because if you look at the two positions between, in fact, Alex Telles and Eric Dyer, Alex Telles' positioning looked very much natural. Whereas Eric Dyer looked like a dancer doing a hip hop dance where his hands was behind him in front, and a weird position, and definitely that should have been a penalty if Alex Teres's handball he was given a penalty as well. I thought that he saved it at one moment when he dived the same right way, but no, it was not, unfortunately, but good effort. We do know that Harry Kane is quite good on penalties as well, so you really can't blame Dahia. A quiet game, apart from the two goals conceded. You could say one goal because it was the only goal that Tottenham did score. The other goal was an own goal, and mind you, Tottenham have got 9 own goals themselves this season as well, which is quite surprising. Anyways, I've given David Dahia 6. Nothing really outstanding. Neither did he do any what can I say, blunders which did cost us the game. A quiet game, yes, unfortunate penalty conceded, an own goal. Apart from that, nothing really much for David Dahia. Quiet game, and that is why I've given a 6. Now 6 is average. I know you might have your opinions on this as well. I think having an average game for a goalkeeper is the best game for a goalkeeper, because as a goalkeeper you should be as quiet as possible throughout the game. That shows that your defense is quite solid and the men in front of you are quite reliable, and you've had quite a day off or a half day on field, you could say, because when a goalkeeper gets a 7 and 8, it shows that the defense has leaked quite a lot, have not had the best day at the office, or the attack squad being quite sublime, and it's most of the times the defense being weak considering Manchester United. And having a decent average game for a goalkeeper, I must say, is the best game. Apart from that, I think considering team wise, yes, for a goalkeeper it is the best game, but if you are looking to personal stats and all that things, you really want to make saves. But in my opinion, the best game for a goalkeeper is an average game of 6. Let's move on to the next player straight off. We move on from David Dahia to Diogo Dalot. I thought Diogo Dalot was quiet towards the first half. I thought had a decent game. Really did not make any mistakes. Neither did he do anything sublime as well. And the thing with Diogo Dalot is whenever he has Marcus Rashford on the right playing along with him, you see Marcus Rashford ignoring his overlapping runs. I think that is the problem Diogo Dalot is having at the moment. He's not given much of the ball when Manchester United is attacking. At those, in fact, he's not being given much of the ball close to our box in order to put in those crosses, because you see Marcus Rashford keep ignoring Diogo Dalot's overlapping runs, and in fact as Diogo Dalot in fact pulls the defenders towards him, you always see Marcus Rashford trying to make that cross, and the rocket science type of passes at times, which is quite unfortunate for Diogo Dalot as well, because if there is a player out there who does take that run into consideration, make a few passes, I definitely think Diogo Dalot could get a few assists to his name as well, and especially in the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo was in some good tunes last night as well. Apart from that, a decent game for Dalot. Nothing really much, nothing too little, and that is why I've given him a 6 as well. Now do send in your ratings, your opinions, questions, anything Manchester United related on the live chat as well. Keep the show running. It's all yours, that live chat, and let's move on to the next player immediately. And from Diogo Dalot, we move on to our next defender, Harry Maguire. Now, the interesting thing about Maguire is I really think he's playing out of position. Now, you saw under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Scott McTominay play out of position. You know that Scott McTominay is a box-to-box midfielder, and with Scott McTominay and Fred, you did see both these players. Excuse me here. Uh, Something is really got my eye. Let me just try to get this out real quick. And the thing with Scott McTominay and Fred, what we did see with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is we knew that these two midfielders are box-to-box midfielders, and we did see them playing as centre defensive midfielders. Now the same question with me is Harry Maguire seems to be playing out of position in my opinion, because he used to, he the last few matches. I think there was one match before this as well, if I'm not wrong, where he did concede an own goal, and it's actually hinting out what he's trying to do is hint out to the managers that yes, I know that I've been performing quite poorly as a centre back. You've got to play me as a striker, is what he is trying to hint out. In my opinion, I think you talk about the lack of strikers next season. You talk about the Cavani's leaving, the Martial's leaving, Ronaldo might leave. We might not have a striker. We need to go for Darwin Nunes, Victor Sinham, Erling Haaland, Harry Kane. Mate, I'll tell you what. If it's Eric Ten Hag who is coming next season, who I do hope so. A tip to you, if you are watching the United Forum every Friday and Sunday at 10 p.m., play Harry Maguire as a striker. Eric, you just saw his finishing last night as well. Sublime finish, right top corner, top bins, whatever you call it. If Cristiano Ronaldo leaves, you really got no problem. You talk about Ronaldo's aerial threat being there, his presence in the box. I definitely think you got that with Harry Maguire as well. Aerially quite good. Aerial battles, one of the best as well. And finishing wise, I think he gave us a sample of his finishing last night as well. And I think he should be playing as a striker, not as a centre back. But since he played out of position, let's just have a little sympathy for him. But considering, had that game ended up a draw, let me tell you this, had that game ended up a draw last night, that would have been curtains for Harry Maguire, because that game would have gone because he conceded that own goal, which was due to poor decision making. And I thought, it's weird, it's difficult to give a rating to someone like Harry Maguire, because I really don't know. It's weird. He's actually going through a weird run of form. Marcus Rashford and Harry Maguire this season have been two weird players, because he has been. There were rumors saying that he is calling out Cristiano Ronaldo as well. That the dressing room is split into two. I'm not quite sure how true these are, but Harry Maguire just doesn't seem to be the Harry Maguire he was at Manchester United or Leicester City. Anyways, he has been playing out of position, so you appreciate the effort he has been putting down at the defense, and that is why I've given him a 5. Now, do send in your opinions on this, and let me tell you what, if you are rating Harry Maguire, he did play out of position last night, so give him a bit of consideration. And from Harry Maguire, we move on to our next defender, Rafael Varane. Now, I thought Rafael Varane last night was once again one of the best players we had on field. He makes that defense look solid. He makes Harry Maguire look a better centre back. He makes Eric Bailey look a better centre back. He makes Victor Lindelof look a better centre back. And the reason why we are so good in defense when he is playing is quite evident as well. And ever since Rafael Varane has been at Manchester United, without Rafael Varane, we have conceded quite a number of goals and have been performing quite badly as well. And I thought he is a key man in the defense for us. It's a shame that he is a little injury prone. I've got to accept that. I accept that he is a little injury prone, which I wish he was not. I really thought Varane would have been rested tomorrow, considering we've got the game against Atletico Madrid on Tuesday, if I'm not wrong. But yes, he did play, and thank God all 11 players who did enter the pitch last night went back fit. Now with Varane, I thought once again good performance as well. Made in some crucial blocks, tell you that. Made in some crucial stops, some goal-saving saves as well. One or two. There were a few threats by Tottenham Hotspur, which looked quite dangerous, and I must say that Rafael Varane did manage to stop them as well. And I think why Manchester United play high line defense is because of Rafael Varane. I would love to see Victor Lindelof play next to him. Unfortunately, you don't see that since Harry Maguire is the captain. You've got this favoritism happening at Manchester United, but it's about Rafael Varane right now. And I thought once again, super performance ever since he has been at Manchester United. He has been performing quite well considering he's had a shift from La Liga to Premier League, and yesterday's performance deserved definitely a 7. He should have had a clean sheet. Unfortunate penalty, unfortunate own goal. Definitely deserved that clean sheet to his name as well, along with David De Gea. And now moving from Rafael Varane, we move on to our full back, the final one. And yes, I've got these pictures streamed for you as well. Oh, what a pick. And there you go. That is Alex Telles, our fullback who did play last night. I thought he had a decent game last night after quite some time as well. I was quite happy with his performance. And there was this one cross. I'm not quite sure if you did notice it. Let me just check. So, yes, on the 22nd minute, do go watch that game back as well if you really want to. On the 22nd minute, Alex Telles, the man you see on screen, put in one hell of a cross. He crossed it quite early, and you know when you cross it early, it's difficult for the defenders, much easier for the attackers, and Ronaldo heads it away from the goal. But I thought it was a superb cross. Wonderful left foot. He's got decent game last night. I think you should keep playing Alex Telles consistently if you want to get the best out of him. Because I'll be honest with you, I really don't see the Alex Telles who was at Porto at Manchester United, because at Porto he was a marquee player there as well, and he was just out of this world. And at Manchester United, he just doesn't seem to be a player. I think he needs to be playing consistently, and I think one reason he hasn't been there is because he has not been picked consistently, like I tell you, because he has been dropped in and out of the squad as well, and injuries being a hinder as well. But last night's performance I thought was quite good. It was better than average, definitely for me as well. Got an assist to his name, that last minute corner, not last minute, but that final corner we did manage to get the equalizer. It was a solid cross straight on to Cristiano Ronaldo, and all he had to do was get that old OG time jump and head it into goal. Sublime finish by Ronaldo, definitely, and that is why I've given Alex Telles a 7. Now, moving on from our defense, we move on to the midfield to start off with Nemanja Matic. Now, I really wish Nemanja Matic was much more younger, at least 10 years younger, I wish, but do me a favor, you could say 5 years, the minimum, because it shows how much quality you have, and you have a proper defensive midfielder who can handle that play, who really starts, pulling the strings together and plays the master of the puppets, making those key passes and controlling that play, because defensive midfielder is a person who basically who works at the engine room. You've had the Roy Keanes, the Michael Carricks, Nemanja Matic, and my goodness, Scott McTominay. Now, let's not talk about that, but I really wish Nemanja Matic was at least 5 years younger. And man, the things this Manchester United team should have done, and the players who should have been playing well, the Fred, I'll get back to that later, but I really do think if Matic was at least 5 years younger, we should have been up there challenging for the title. By this time, a decent performance last night, and one thing when Matic plays is I really think when Matic plays, in fact, it gives a little extra confidence to our defense as well, because we do know that Matic will stick back and do a bit of that key work for the defense as well. I do think Harry Maguire plays a better centre back with Matic as well, rather than Scott McTominay and Fred. Yes, definitely deserves it. I think he deserves a 6.5. Surrounding that off with the closest whole number, I'm going to give Matic a 7. Now, do send in your opinions, your ratings on the live chat as well. Keep the show running. And after Matic, we move on to our next midfielder. Yes, our box-to-box midfielder with one hell of a flick last night to give that assist to Cristiano Ronaldo. Worthy of a goal, worthy of an assist. Definitely got his Brazilian passport last night. Good performance yesterday. Where credit is due, you've got to give the players the credit. Superb game last night overall. definitely has been a better player since Ralph Rangnick has come to Manchester United. I must say that, and that is why I've given Fred a 7. He got an assist, defensively was quite good as well, made a few key passes, and yes, he's quite transforming his game. I really do think he carries his form and maintains this consistency. And in fact, actually, yeah, last night's performance actually shows what a player like Fred could do with a reliable defensive midfielder behind him. And it's a shame to see the fact that he has to play a CDM even when Scott McTominay does play, because we do know that both these players are not CDMs and more box to box midfielders. And when you have a reliable defensive midfielder, these two midfielders can offer much more. And it's just a shame. It's just a shame that you don't actually have the facilities to get the best out of these two players. Now, moving on to our next midfielder who did play as a number 10. You know, there are a lot of criticization on Bruno Fernandes as well, about him losing the ball, about the fact that you have to drop Bruno Fernandes, play Pogba as a number 10. I think last night was a clear evidence that Bruno Fernandes is our starting number 10 and it shouldn't be anyone else, because it was not the best of performances by Pogba. Yes, he did go bald, but his performance was not as good as the other baldies we do know. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, but I really do think his performance was not up to the mark. Definitely a Paul Pogba could offer more to a team like Manchester United, just not there last night as well. And I really do think that was evidence that Bruno Fernandes is number 10. And in my opinion, I really do think that Paul Pogba could do so much better with Bruno Fernandes by his side as well, because that way, you know, you've got a man to cover yourself up as well. And I really love the pair, Pogba and Bruno. Last night's performance, not the best. I think I would give him a 6, a decent 6. I think he deserves a 5. But I'll go for a 6. I'll go for a 6. So to send in your opinions or ratings on the live chat as well. Keep the show running like I keep telling you. If you are new here, do give us a subscribe, smash a like on the video. And yes, do share this video around as well. And now we move on to our forward line to start off with Marcus Rashford. Now, Marcus Rashford, I thought just was not too good enough last night. I think yes, a few people saying that he did run around, change his game here and there as well. I really do think, as a Manchester United player, you've got to do more. It was just not enough from Marcus Rashford, in my opinion. And an okay game. Yes, there are a few pressers saying that he has improved. In my opinion, not really. It's just the fact that he was running a little extra bit more last night than the previous days, and that is why people actually do think he did have a good performance. I apologize, coming so close to the screen, just checking on a few things. And that is why I've given Marcus Rashford, he does not deserve a 6, to be honest. More of a 4.5 and a 5, so I'll stick to a 5 to be humble to him. Renegade servant to the club. I'll give Marcus Rashford a 5. Just not good enough. Really needs a lot of improvement. In my opinion, if I was the manager of Manchester United, if I was Ralph Rangnick, I would send him straight away to the bench again and bring in Anthony Elanka, who would offer so much more for Manchester United than Marcus Rashford. And I really liked what Rangnick did tell about Rashford as well. The doors are open. If Rashford and his family decides that they want to leave, they can, but just not yet. They'll have to wait for the summer window. I think Rangnick is one manager who has been here after a very, very long time and given us, the fans, that attitude and that message saying that no player is bigger than the club. Beat Marcus Rashford, beat Cristiano Ronaldo, beat Edinson Cavani, Rafael Varane. The club is way bigger than anyone else. Nothing comes second to the club. He's straight away given off those vibes, which is something I really like in Ralph Rangnick, and I think Manchester United needed quite desperately as well. We wanted Antonio Conte, the Jose Mourinho, to expose Manchester United. I think we've got an equally good person in Ralph Rangnick as well, who does know when to expose these players and when not to. And now moving from Rashford, we move on, and man, I'm gonna save Ronaldo to the last. Let's move on to Jadon Sancho. Now, Jadon Sancho, in my opinion, is one of the most important players at Manchester United at the moment, along with Cristiano Ronaldo, Rafael Varane, and David De Gea, in my opinion. But I think out of that starting 11 you always get every match week, I think Jadon Sancho's name is one of the first names to be on this starting 11 as well. Ever since he did come to Manchester United, He took his time, he adopted, he adjusted, and he has definitely upped his game and definitely seems to be a hard worker and definitely is starting to seem like the Jadon Sancho we all saw in Germany in Borussia Dortmund. Superb game last night as well. Got another assist to his name. Happiness, tears in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I thought, yes, good to see him play so well. After all that criticization, after being called a flop, and to be coming like this and proving people wrong, and finally looking like the player he was once upon a time, is man happy. Happy man. I'm so happy for Jadon Sancho at the moment, and that is why I've given Jadon Sancho a 7. A 7 for your Jadon Sancho. There you go. Keep performing, man. Jadon Malik Sancho, take a bow. And now let's move on to a substitute. I do know that I'm missing out on a player. I'll get to that player. I'll get to him. I'll get to him. I'll get to him. And before I do go on to him, we have Edinson Cavani, our substitutes as well. Really couldn't do anything much. Did come onto the pitch for a decent number of minutes as well. And you know, with the substitutes, I always, have my sympathy. Really couldn't have a say as well, and that is why I've given Edinson Cavani a 6, and our other substitutes, Anthony Elanga as well, was there for a good 20 minutes. Really did not do anything much, and that is why I've given him a 6 as well. And our final substitute, Victor Lindelof, as well, and okay game as well. Really couldn't do anything much, and that is why I've given him a 6 as well. And now to the man who matters, Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, here we go, and there we go. That is, oh dear, Cristiano Ronaldo. Don't you do that to me now. Let's bring him on screen. We've got the people waiting for you, mate. Come on, real fast. Oh dear, don't embarrass me. There we go. Yes, talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, the man with the crest. Kiss that badge. Talk about the problems at Manchester United, the very least of problems at Manchester United, and like actually let your apologies be as loud as your criticization. And what a game for him last night as well. Superb game, a hat trick last night. A world of a goal, a tap in, a header, the hat trick had it all. And let me tell you what, had it not been for Cristiano Ronaldo last night, I really don't think Manchester United would have won that game, because that was sole individual brilliance, and we really did not see much creativity connecting quite a number of players from the goals he scored. The first goal was a worldly of a goal. The second was just a bit of good work from Matic and Jadon Sancho, and third was a good corner. So yes, decent credit to the assistants and the teams, and for creating the play as well. And most of all, this is Cristiano Ronaldo we are talking about. 807 goals to his name at the age of 37. Currently 12 games, in fact 12 goals this season, in the toughest season. In fact, in the toughest league, in the toughest football league in the world, at the age of 37, being the second most scoring goal scorer at the age of 37, and scoring the most number of goals by any footballer at 807 goals and counting. To be doing that, man, is this guy human? Is this guy machine? Only God knows, man. Only God knows. And yes, for the very first time in the United Forum, the rating for Cristiano Ronaldo is at 10. A solid 10. Man, does he not deserve that 10? For the very first time in the United Forum, the first ever player to get a 10 out of 10 is Cristiano Ronaldo, and what a player to give that to as well, on what a day and what a performance. Take a bow, ladies and gentlemen. CR7 Cristiano Ronaldo. And now to the final man himself. We move on from Ronaldo to Ralph Rangnick. There we go. Rangnick, I would say, barely got anything wrong. One question definitely is why he actually went for Harry Maguire or Lindelof. That almost cost us the game. Thankfully, it did not. Apart from that, yeah, the substitutes he made, you really can't make any other substitutes as well. Our pitch is so weak. Those substitutes he made are really the only options we've got as well. Bruno is injured and a few other players out on loan as well. So the substitutes he made, like I told you, are the only options they've got. A decent game for him as well. So I'll give him a 6. And since he won that game 6 plus, I'll give him 1 for the win. So I'll go for 7. And that's pretty much it from the player ratings as well. Manchester United taking on Tottenham Hotspur at 11 p.m. last night. Winning that game 3-2 is Manchester United and currently on 4th place with 2 points ahead of Arsenal, who do have 3 games in hand. So watch out for that as well. Arsenal are currently taking on. Let me give you a small update on that game as well. Then so Manchester United are currently on 4th, with Arsenal behind them on 2 points with 3 games in hand. Who, in fact, Arsenal are right now at the moment playing Leicester City as well. And yes, as you can see, Thomas Partey has given the lead to Arsenal, and the current score is 1-0 at 32 minutes. So that's pretty much it from tonight as well. You were live at 10 p.m. for the match reaction and wrap the show up. There is a small connection issue, and yes, this connection is successful. That's pretty much it for tonight's folks. Like once again for the third time this show, you are live at 10 p.m. for the match reaction and player ratings. Until I see you next week at 10 p.m. For the pre-match press conference reaction. Have a blessed night and a blessed week ahead. This is the United Forum. Week ahead. This is the United